Wyze has taken their incredibly affordable Wyze Cam and added a motor to it. So now this camera can pan and tilt, covering even more areas of your home. We're going to be going over the features and what it offers, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Steve from the YouTube channel Steve Does, and I want to thank you for joining me here at reviews.org. So last week we took a look at the Wyze Cam, a $20 1080p camera that was just absolutely amazing for its price range. Well, in today's video, we're taking a look at the Wyze Cam Pan. This is a camera that is very similar to the Wyze Cam, but it has a few upgrades. Just like with the Wyze Cam, it's got 1080p video. We've got night vision with 6 IR LEDs. We've got 110 quick rotation speed, 365 by 93 pan and tilt range. We've got motion and sound detection, 14 days of free cloud storage, 120-degree viewing angle, and then we have enhanced two-way audio. Just like with the Wyze Cam, the Wyze Pan can also connect with the Google and Amazon ecosystems and connects with IFTTT, so you can integrate this into your smart home automation. These cameras also have a micro SD card slot, so you can record 24/7 locally to the cameras. Let's take a look at what comes in the box, but before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. With that said, let's get started. All right, there is not much coming in this box. We've got our quick start guide, we've got our power cable and power plug, and then here is the Wyze Cam Pan. So we've got the camera up here. This has 6 IR LED lights for better night vision. This does go up and down. Taking a look at the back, we've got a USB port, but then down here on the base is the power port. So you don't have to worry about having extra slack in the cable. I was a little worried about that, but the power cable is going to plug in there and then the camera will turn from there. So I'm really happy to see that. It looks like we've got speakers and grills on the back for probably keeping things cool. On the bottom, we've got a setup button, a slot for our micro SD card, and then down here, this is the microphone. We've also got a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, so you can put this onto a standard security mount. Setting this camera up is really easy to do. We're gonna load up the app, and in the top left corner, we're gonna click on the plus sign. We're going to add a device, and then we can see the devices that we can add. So we've got the different cameras up here. If we scroll down, we've also got things like contact sensors, motion sensors, bulbs, plugs, smart locks. They've even got scales and fitness bands and headphones. Wyze also just recently announced a robot vacuum and a sprinkler system controller. This company is absolutely exploding with ideas. They keep coming out with stuff all the time, and they've got such a huge cult following because they're all about providing the best equipment they possibly can at the cheapest prices. Now that we've got the camera set up, let's go over some of the features in the app. All right, so we have the app loaded up right here. We're on the home tab, so we can see the different things that we have set up. We've now added the Wyze Cam Pan up here. Now, some options that you can do on the home screen is you can either add a new device, we can add a new rule. So if we want to set up any kind of automation, we can do it through the tab up there. We can mute and unmute notifications. And then if we click on the little pencil up here, click edit devices, you can change the location of where you want the different devices to be and the order that they are in. So we're going to click on the pan camera. So I'll show you a live view of what it's looking at right now. It looks like it does have an update. We'll do that a little bit later. So the options that we have here is that we can mute and unmute the speaker. We've got record, push to talk, taking a picture. If we click on more options, we can turn on our motion tracking. So that's going to be our pan and tilt feature. We've got pan scan. So that's something that you can set up where it's going to scan the room. So every 10 seconds, the camera will move, detecting a different part of the room. So it's not just stationary. We've also got our motion tagging. So any motion it detects, it'll put a green box around it. We've got our album of what it's recorded. We can set up different time lapses. So here is the start and end time. Our intervals are going to be seconds, minutes, hours, or days, whatever you pick there. Gonna back out of there. And then we also have the option of turning the camera off. couple other options that we have is up here, it says HD. From here, we can change the resolution of the camera. So we've got 360, 720, and then the HD is going to be our 1080p. We've also got a little moon up here. It says auto right now. That's going to be auto night vision. If we tap that, it'll either turn it on, turn it off, or leave it on auto. And then we've got our controls here for adjusting the camera. So we can put it up and down, left and right, and do that there. And then we've also got view playback of what it's recorded. If we click on the gear icon up here, we can see we can rename the camera. We've got events being recorded. So if it detects motion, it's going to record what that motion is. We've also got notifications. So these are the notifications that it's going to send me to my phone. Because I do have this set up in the living room, I've just turned off all the notifications for the sake of this test. We've got detection settings. So this is going to be motion and sound sensitivity. I did turn this one up for testing, but I'll go ahead and turn that back down. We've also got our detection zones. So we can turn this on. This is going to be what areas we want to have set up as an area for detecting. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that back off. We can back out of here. Then we've got our alarm settings. So this is pretty cool. We've got smoke alarm and CO2 alarm. If it detects either one of these alarms going off, it will notify you that one of these is going off. And then we've got our advanced settings. So from here, we can take a look at local storage. This is a big one right here. This is after you put in your SD card into the camera where you're going to set up what you want it to do. So right now we have it recording to the card. We have it set up as record events only, but you can set it to continuous recording, meaning it's going to record 24/7. So that is a cool option right there. We've got our motion controls. So this is going to be how fast the camera pans and tilts. Our scan settings. So as I mentioned before, we can turn that on where it's going to hit 4 different waypoints. You can set up your waypoints in the camera if you don't want it to do a full 360, but that can be set up right there. You can also reset your points. We've got our night vision options here. Night vision, IR lights, turn those on and off. Status lights, rotating it in case the camera is mounted to a ceiling or upside down. Timestamps, we've got our Wyze logo. That's going to be if we want the logo on the image that we're recording sound, and then syncing time. And then we've also got the options here for setting up schedules and automations. So you see I got a few of them set up here. All right, now that we have seen the features of this camera, let's go ahead and get some test shots and see what it is capable of.
All right, so now that we have the pan and tilt feature turned on, this is what it looks like when it's jumping all around. I do have it set to the default at 50%, but we're going to jump it down to 20% to see if we're going to get a little bit better pan and tilting with the camera. Over here, and walk over here, so you can track me over here. All right, go all the way over to the side, typically. Yep, and that is normally where it does lose me. Hey, I'm over here. Yeah, over this way, buddy. Come here. Yeah, over here. No, I'm over here. Yeah, over here. Over this way. Over this way. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. All right, you got me. Stay with me. All right, I wanted to show you guys what the camera looks like on the Wyze Cam Pan. Just leaving the lights on right now. I wanted to show you guys what that looks like. Now we're going to turn the lights off and see what the night vision looks like. Alright, so now we've got just the night vision. This is what it looks like. It is completely dark around here, but this is what it looks and sounds like with the Wyze Cam Pan.
Oh boy, oh boy. The pan function on this camera is atrocious. It was the most frustrating thing to try to get demo shots with that pan and tilt feature on. I even had a friend who has had this camera for over a year, so I reached out to them and I said, are you having this problem too? or is it just me? I'm thinking maybe I need a firmware update, or is there just something buggy with my camera? And they said, you know what, we don't actually use the automatic pan and tilt. We manually will go in and do it, but let me turn that on and see what happens. They came back and said it was the most frustrating thing. So it wasn't just me and my camera. They were having the same thing too. They said they leave that pan and tilt feature off, the automatic one. And if they need to move it around, it's a nice feature to be able to manually move the camera back and forth in the big room. So I hate that feature. It was so frustrating. It's also kind of a noisy camera as it's pan and tilting around. Like when you're in a room, and even if you're just watching TV and there's multiple people in the room, it's jumping from one person to another, and it's a loud, annoying thing. It was frustrating. I would not recommend using the automatic pan and tilt. However, if you have a bigger room and want to be able to cover back and forth in an area, this is going to be a good option for you. Like I said, I have a friend who has had this camera for over a year. They absolutely love the camera, except for that feature. So don't use that feature if you want this camera. It is still a good camera. Don't count on that feature. Another thing that I was not a big fan of was the audio. The audio seemed very low and muffly. I wasn't that far from the camera, even though it kind of looks like I might be a little far in the test footage. I wasn't really that far at all, and the audio couldn't really pick me up at all. There are many other cameras out there that do a way better job at audio, but this one is not one of them. Now, a couple other things to talk about with the Wyze ecosystem is their ability to record 14 days of free cloud storage. Now, the problem with this is that the recordings are only 12 seconds long, and they can only be recorded every 5 minutes. There's a 5-minute cooldown between recordings. So it's not gonna make it for a good security camera. And to Wyze's credit, they don't call these security cameras. These are just the Wyze cams. However, you can stick in an SD card. And when you stick in the SD card, as we saw, you can either get 24/7 recording, or you can set up event recording, which is gonna give you more days that you can record onto a card, which is what I would recommend. Now, one thing that I should mention is that Wyze just released their new subscription service called Wyze Plus. This is going to be an optional monthly service that you can pay to just get more out of your camera. It's going to have unlimited recording with no cooldown period. So you're going to be able to check your cloud recording at any time. There's also a lot of new options that are coming to this. Like I mentioned, this is brand new. So you notice all of the coming soons that are happening. These are all features they are building into that new subscription. What we primarily use our cameras for, because I've been using these for quite a while, is that we use them for baby monitors. As opposed to using an expensive baby monitor that's designed for that, we just use this. This way we can check it wherever we are. If we're in the yard and we're not going to get reception like we used to have on our baby monitor, we couldn't get it in the yard. With this one, we just bring up the app on our phone. We can watch it from anywhere in the world. My friend who has this camera that uses their pan and tilt uses this to watch their dog. So when they're at work all day, they can look in at their dog and make sure everything is going okay. I guess what I'm getting at is that if you're looking for an actual security system, this probably isn't going to be the best bet for you. But for the price, to be able to monitor your house, to be able to check in on things like a sleeping baby, or if you've got pets at home that you want to keep an eye on, this is going to be a great affordable option for you. I've had these cameras for years, and anybody who is looking to just start getting into a smart home, I always recommend Wyze to them as a good starter camera. But what are your guys' thoughts on this camera right here? Do you like the pan and tilt feature? Is that an option that you will be using, or do you want something just like the Wyze Cam? There's also the Wyze Cam Outdoor, which we're going to be looking at next week. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys want to know any more about the Wyze cameras or any other security camera, take a look at the link below to reviews.org. If you guys want to see more from me, check out my channel, Steve Does, where I do a lot of other cool tech reviews. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, I want to thank you for joining me here at reviews.org, and I'll see you guys in the next video.